you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
And I assume noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Fair.
You go to school?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here.
Hi there. I'm Professor Blackmore, and welcome back to my channel. And I'm coming back to you today to discuss a few interesting details that have developed in the criminal murder case against Bryan Kohberger in connection with the murders of the Idaho University college students in Moscow, Idaho. And I'm also going to discuss the reason why the prosecutor has included this burglary charge in the criminal complaint against Kohberger. Now, the court held a status conference on January the 12th, 2023, at which time Kohberger waived his right to a speedy trial and the court's requirement to hold a preliminary hearing within 14 days of him being formally advised of the charges against him. And so, based on Kohberger waiving this important right, the magistrate judge set the preliminary hearing to take place in June of 2023. And something tells me there will be much to report on while we await the criminal trial of this case, which will take place after the June preliminary hearing, because Kohberger appears to have all of the characteristics of a typical psychopath, and it seems he's going to find a way to speak out from the jail cell, honey child, whether it be verbal or nonverbal. Which brings me to these interesting cuts and bruises on his face and neck that could be visibly seen during the January 12th status hearing. I mean, clearly he knows that if he shows up in the court on national TV with all of these cuts and bruises on his face and neck, it would generate much attention, speculation, and even sympathy. Because, be clear, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, as many people that there may be who hate this guy in Moscow, Idaho, there are equally as many women who are writing him letters as we speak. So, stay tuned for more antics like this from Kohberger in future hearings, because he knows the whole world is watching him. And I have no doubt that he is loving every minute of it. And so, it is reported by jail officials that he got these cuts and bruises from shaving. But I'll let you all be the judge of whether you believe that or not. Now, another interesting development in this case comes from Moscow, Idaho Police Department body camera footage from a noise disturbance call at the home of the murder scene in August of 2022, and more body camera footage taken in September of 2022. And the first question that should be asked is, why, after an entire month and a half of this investigation being conducted by the Moscow, Idaho Police Department, why are we just now seeing these videos, and who is leaking them? And keep in mind that these police visits are a result of complaints from neighbors in the community, and so you can bet that you're going to start hearing leaked video and or audio characterizations of what they really thought about the activity going on at the home of the victims. And so now, regarding the August event, police officers initiate their response to a neighbor's complaint of loud music at the home by approaching this infamous sliding glass door entrance on the second floor on the backside of the residence, at which time they were greeted by Kaylee Goncalves. And as you know, Kaylee is one of the homicide victims that was murdered on the third floor of the residence. Now, if we go back to the probable cause affidavit, we can see that this is the very door that was described by witness DM, identified in the probable cause affidavit, who testified that she saw Kohberger pass by her bedroom door on the second floor as he proceeded in the direction of this very same sliding glass door on the night of the murders. Now, it is presumed that Kohberger entered and exited the home through this very same door. So, it is very interesting to get a look at how this door operated. And although everything happens very quickly in the body camera video, it seems that Kaylee just goes right up to the door and opens it without activating any locking mechanism on the door.
How are ya?
Good, how are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
And I assume noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Fair.
You go to school?
Yeah.
Okay. What year?
Senior.
Senior. Okay. So I'll tell you the same thing I told them. You probably know the drill, right?
Actually, no.
Oh, okay. So usually, at least for me, I'll give you a verbal warning.
Okay.
Once I have neighbors calling in, your music's too loud, you're disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
Nothing against having parties, nothing against having people over who are overage to drink. But again, once we start disturbing the neighbors, then we've got an issue.
Yeah.
Noise ticket is up to 300.
Yeah, somewhere around 300.
Okay, it's a pretty expensive ticket. I don't want to give that to you. That being said, this is your place, so I'm going to hold you responsible. Because it is your place, you're also responsible for everybody here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to grab your info.
Yeah.
And if I do have to come back here, a $300 some ticket's coming your way.
Okay.
And it only gets more expensive from there. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair. Absolutely.
Actually, let's just do it this. What's a good phone number for you? Is this 1122 here?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. I'd much rather you spend that $300 on beer or something fun than
Yeah.
a noise
yeah.
ticket, right?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. That being said, warnings. Don't do it again.
Yep.
I'd hate to come back in a few hours and then have to issue that. So, any questions for me?
No.
All right. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
And now, much is going to be made about whether you can establish what a person's actual specific intent for entering was regarding the burglary count if the residence had a reputation of being a place where you could just come and go at will through this sliding glass door. Because for the burglary charge, the prosecutor will have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Kohberger entered the residence with the specific intent to commit murder. Now, obviously, there is a clear difference between being invited into a home and not being invited. But it seems that invitations were not necessarily required for these, what seem to be informal parties. And you better bet that these are the types of arguments that defense attorneys are formulating to combat this burglary charge, because I believe this burglary charge is here as a placeholder for a future felony murder charge if the prosecution starts feeling iffy about their ability to prove elements of the first-degree murder charge beyond a reasonable doubt as presently charged. Now, during my previous analysis of this evidence contained within the probable cause affidavit, I went through the elements of the first-degree murder charge as currently alleged in the criminal complaint on file against Kohberger, which is specifically identified as first-degree malice aforethought murder. So, if you want to review the reasons why I don't believe the evidence in the probable cause affidavit proves these elements of the current first-degree murder charge on file, please watch my analysis in this video. But today, I want to show you why you also see that the prosecutor has alleged this burglary count in the criminal complaint. Now, it may seem odd that we have this burglary charge in the criminal complaint because many of you are thinking, my goodness, somebody murdered 4 people in this home. And so why do we care about burglary when it seems that he didn't steal anything from the residence? And so I strongly believe the reason is because they later plan to include counts for the crime specifically identified as first-degree murder in perpetrating or attempting to perpetrate a felony, which we call felony murder in other jurisdictions. And the Idaho criminal jury instructions adopted by the Idaho Supreme Court states that you need to prove the following to prove the crime specifically identified as first-degree felony murder. Quote, in order for the defendant to be guilty of first-degree murder in the perpetration of or attempt to perpetrate a felony, the state must prove each of the following. Number 1, that on or about a particular date. Number 2, in the state of Idaho. Number 3, that the murder was committed in the perpetration of or attempt to perpetrate an aggravated battery on a child under 12 years of age, arson, rape, robbery, burglary, kidnapping, mayhem, etc. And now, what I'm about to read from this jury instruction is the very reason that we might likely see this charge added, especially if the prosecution is not able to establish a motive for these murders and if they're unable to find the actual murder weapon. And this is the reason. Reading further from this jury instruction, quote, to prove that the named defendant, i.e. Kohberger, is guilty of first-degree murder in this way, the state does not have to prove that the defendant intended to kill the named decedents, but the state must prove that during the perpetration or attempt to perpetrate, in this case, burglary, the defendant killed the named decedents in the particular count, end quote. And so, it might be easier to prove the elements of murder in this manner than it is to prove it in the manner as currently charged. And as I read the crime and punishment statute for homicide in the state of Idaho, the death penalty is also applicable to all first-degree murder charges. So, the death penalty would be available for first-degree felony murder as well. And so, it is my belief that this is the reason that you see this charge in the criminal complaint as a placeholder in the event that the prosecutor might see that it is becoming difficult to prove one or more elements of the current counts as charged as first-degree murder, malice aforethought. And as I've stated previously, I think you need more than mere evidence establishing that a particular person was merely in the home. Because when you have a party house like this, wherein it seems that people seem to have carte blanche to come and go under the elements of the current form of first-degree murder as charged, you must prove way more than that you just can put a person in the home at the time of the murder. And so let's take a look at the body cam footage from the September event when the police visited the home again as a result of a noise disturbance dispute from the neighbors.
Hello, miss.
Hello.
What's your name?
Xana.
Xana, do you live here?
Yes.
Hey, did Megan talk to you earlier?
No.
Okay, does Megan live here?
Megan, I do not have a Megan that lives
Megan Mogan?
Maddie Mogan, yes.
Madison Mogan, yeah.
Madison Mogan? Okay, she does live
Sorry, she is at the club. She's 21. I'm just going to bed. I have a couple friends over, but
Okay.
this is my ID.
here? Have you talked to Maddie tonight?
Yes, I have.
Oh.
She's at the corner club.
Okay. Did she tell you anything about anything that happened earlier or anything like that?
Honestly, not really. I've just been here the past hour.
Okay. Okay.
Just trying to go to bed.
Can I grab your ID for me? If you
Yeah,
will run
I'm
her.
not 21.
Okay.
My roommates are 21. I just came to go to bed.
We're not here to talk about the alcohol stuff, okay?
Okay, yeah.
But this is the second noise complaint we've had here tonight within 2 hours.
I'm sorry
Okay.
about that.
So this time it was the blonde gal and the guy on the back porch playing music. Okay. So
I sincerely apologize about
Okay.
that. I'm just going to bed.
Okay. So just so you understand, you could be getting a misdemeanor citation for this, which means you have to go in front of a judge and explain why you couldn't keep the people in your house quiet. Okay? We've already talked to Maddie once and told her the same thing. Okay? The only reason she's not getting a ticket is because she's not standing here in front of me. But I'm telling you right now, if we have to come back, you're getting a ticket.
Okay, so
You will have to go
right
see a
now.
judge.
I'm fine right now.
You're not getting a ticket right now.
I'm just trying to go to bed right
Okay.
now. I mean, I understand you guys. You're coming here. I'm just going to bed.
Okay. Well, understand that you're responsible for the residents.
Okay.
So whoever else is here, if they have a safe way to get home, you need to kick them out. or tell them to come inside and be quiet.
Okay.
Because the houses that are on this hill all the way around here, we can hear you from clear down the road when we were coming up here. We can hear the music.
Okay.
And that's
I'm so sorry.
where we're past the point of having polite conversations, okay?
Yeah,
Because
I'm so
neighbors are being
sorry.
kept up, okay?
I'm sorry. It's just like, yeah.
So,
The blonde gal and the guy up there, are they roommates too?
I'm sorry, what?
The blonde gal and the guy that's upstairs, are they roommates too?
None of my roommates are home. I'm the only one home.
What's the
These are all my
conversation?
friends.
Okay.
so do you understand 100%
I understand.
what's going to
I'm just
happen?
going to tell everyone or figure it out.
And I'm not saying that you got to tell everybody they have to leave, but I'm telling you, any outside music, any loud yelling needs to be done.
Okay.
Because we're not, next time you're getting a ticket,
Okay.
okay? And if you get a misdemeanor citation, the university is not going to take kindly to it.
Yeah.
So not only do you have to go see a judge,
I've never had to deal with this ever.
Yep. and we don't want to start now. I don't ever remember having come here, so I understand you guys are having to get together, but people have a way of
Yes.
taking the invitation and using it as an excuse to get out of control and be loud.
Advantage. Yes,
Exactly.
I understand.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I just hope for your sake that your friends don't put you in a position where you get the citation and you have to go to court to defend yourself
Yes.
from your friend's behavior. Make sense?
Okay, thank you so
Okay.
much.
You want to get a good phone number for her?
Yep. And just remember, the Dean of Students Office will probably be contacting you about this as well.
Okay.
Yep.
About student code of conduct
Can I
issues.
give my ID?
Yes, I have.
Easy to get your number.
What's a good telephone number for you?
Xana Kernodle. XANAKERNODLE.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Xana.
Of
Here's your
course.
ID back.
Thank you so much.
Any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Make sure your friends don't put you in a bad position. Tell them it's time to be done.
I'll go-
Okay.
There's like no one in there.
Yeah.
anymore.
It was the two that were around the back. We had to holler at them to turn the music down. So,
Thank
alrighty.
you guys. I'm so sorry.
Nope, that's
And
all right.
so I expect that we could even see the defense attempt to have the burglary charge thrown out to thwart the prosecution's ability to allege felony murder counts, because again, the prosecution is going to have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Kohberger entered with the specific intent to commit murder. And you can see from this video that it seems that people tended to be in the home at all hours of the night, as well as involving all manner of invited and even maybe even uninvited plus ones or plus twos who may have entered the home for the purpose of partying, and who knows who did what later on in the night. Many of whom are most probably entering through that back sliding glass door. Now, it seems that there is a picture being painted by somebody that these student residents of the home didn't know who was in there and or what they were there for. And it also seems that a picture is being painted that it seemed that all of the students in this college community seem to think that all were invited to these party events. And so you can bet that the defense is going to seize on videos like we have seen, like the Moscow Police Department body cam footage from the noise disputes, and any other evidence to establish that people came and went without invitation through that sliding glass door for whatever reasons, i.e. to party or to do whatever else. And the defense will do this as a way to attack any assertion that merely placing a person in the residence at the time of the murders does not prove beyond a reasonable doubt element 3 of the current first-degree malice aforethought murder charge. In addition, regarding the burglary charge, this body cam footage will also be exploited by the defense to establish that a person could surmise that people entered this home for a myriad of reasons that may not necessarily start out for the purpose of murder. And again, let me say that the prosecution will have to prove that the person had a specific intent when they entered the home to commit murder. Stated another way, their purpose for entering was for the specific purpose of committing murder. If they entered the home for the purpose of partying and a murder later occurred by somebody, they're not going to be able to make out this element of burglary. So when I come back, I'm going to show you side by side what is needed to prove these two types of first-degree murder in the state of Idaho, i.e. first-degree malice aforethought murder and first-degree felony murder, side by side against the evidence that has been shared with us thus far. But as you know on here, I just ask a report and I let you decide. So, what do you think about these latest developments? And what do you think about this odd stunt of Kohberger showing up in court with cuts and bruises on his face and neck? Do you think this is an attempt to garner sympathy, or does it have some other sick meaning? And what do you think about this Moscow Police Department body camera footage from the August 2022 and the September 2022 noise disturbance disputes at the home of the murder scene? Do you think the defense will exploit this detail to maybe establish that the prosecution cannot prove that Kohberger entered the residence with specific intent to murder anyone? And do you think the leaks of these videos is coming from the defense? Please let me know by leaving your comments in the comments section below. And I hope you'll also give me a big thumbs up. And I hope you'll also consider donating to this video and my entire channel by clicking the super thanks heart button below. And while you're there, I want to also ask that you please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell so you'll be notified whenever I come back with more analysis on this case. And please also follow me on TikTok and Instagram.